Begins now.
Awesome. Can you guys hear me okay? 5 minutes. Beautiful. Who's excited to be here today? Woo! I hope you're all wearing those amazing YouTube gaming capes. Please and thanks. Cool. So, really exciting day today here at PAX. We've got some fantastic creators up here on stage that I'm sure you're all super excited to hear about and ask questions to. We're going to quickly just run you through a presentation and just talk through what's the lay of the land with YouTube, and then we'll get right into the fun part, actually the questions with the creators, which is probably why we're all here. So again, if you didn't know why you were here, we're here for the YouTube gaming panel. The title of the panel is How to Earn Money and Grow Your Communities on YouTube. We've got 4 fantastic creators up on stage. Let's give them a round of applause for coming here today. Thank you, everybody. We've got Afmal, Nick 830, Abdallah Smash, and CWA Mobile Gaming. Thank you guys again for coming. So again, we'll talk through a few new product features on YouTube. We'll have the creator conversation, and then at the end, we'll make sure that we have some time for questions and answers. So start thinking about what you want to ask your favorite creator. And if you have any questions too, feel free to tweet our handle at YouTube Creators, and there will be a line that will form when we're ready to go for questions. Okay, so I guess the first big question is, can I even get an audience on YouTube? I think we can get an audience on YouTube. In fact, in 2018, we had over 50 billion watch hours of gaming content and 200 million daily logged in users, which I'm sure that's all of you guys and girls every single day. So thank you so much. So what are some of the tools that you could use to earn revenue on YouTube? Okay. Well, pretend that there's a fantastic presentation on screen, because that's what I'm seeing, so you could just use your imagination. We've got channel memberships, which is a fantastic product where you could donate to your favorite creator with a monthly reoccurring revenue, which I'm sure a lot of you guys here are already using. And with that comes some fantastic perks like badges and emotes and even some special videos. You've got Super Chat, which is another fantastic product that you can participate with your creator in real time and actually interact with the screen. And it's bright colored, and the more you actually spend, which everybody sees, the louder the actual color is going to be. Merch. Well, we're all wearing YouTube gaming merch, so this doesn't really count, but I'm sure all of you guys have purchased some of your favorite creators' merch, and that's a great way to drive more value and allow the creators to do what they do best, create content for you guys. And recently, we announced a fantastic merch shelf that you'll see directly under the video channel as just an easy way to see some of your favorite creators' merch and purchase it right on camera, or right on YouTube. And lastly, we have something called FameBit, which is a fantastic platform that we recently acquired, and it's built to really connect creators with brands and vice versa. So if you're interested about learning more on FameBit, make sure to check out their website, www.famebit.com. Okay, so quickly we just want to talk through some of the other tools that we have that allows you to connect with your fans. One of them being the Community tab. Does anybody here use the Community tab with some of your favorite creators? See a few hands. Well, it's a great tool that I know some of our top creators are using to really lean in and engage with some of their top fans and provide them ancillary content in between videos, polls, unique content, just a general conversation so that you guys can be kept up to speed in between that video schedule. We have premieres. Has anybody here used premieres? Okay, we're gonna have to change that. A few people need to use premieres. But either way, we rolled this out last October, and it's just like it sounds. It's a way for you and your creator to premiere some of the top videos together globally in real time. And you also have the live chat functionality, and Super Chat can be used for it as well. And lastly, we have something really cool called Stories. Is anybody here using Stories yet or watching Stories? Okay, we're gonna also have to change that. We're gonna need you guys watching some stories. But either way, it's a fantastic product that we rolled out that is really great for just short form casual videos. And the videos last for 7 days. And it's just another just casual glance into the lifestyle of creators. So that's all I have for you. That's the lay of the land in terms of what our new product features are. Again, I know you guys are all here to actually listen to the creators talk. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to my colleague, Meg, to start the creator conversation. And again, as we get closer to the end, make sure to start lining up so we'll ask some questions to the creators direct. Thanks, guys.
All right, many apologies. We can see our slides on this TV down here, and if we get it working, I'll definitely run through it at the end. But a lot of it you can find on YouTube, and a lot of these creators are here today are using all the products that Jeffrey was just speaking about. So, but by the way, I'm Meg. I've been a gaming partner manager for the last 5 or so years at YouTube. I'm a gamer myself. And I'm super stoked to talk with these awesome creators on stage today. Are there any fans of these guys out there? Yeah? I know I see some of the ears from Atmao, right? All right, so if you're not familiar with all of them, let's go ahead and start with Abdallah Smash. You got a little trophy, don't you?
A little trophy?
Yeah, let's look at that.
Oh, man. I might break my arm on this bad boy. Yeah, it was a fun time.
How'd you win that?
Well, over at PAX Arena, they had something called the Stream Stars, where they took a whole bunch of YouTube content creators and other content creators on various platforms, and we duked it out in a tournament-style bracket for some NES Online games. Any of you guys play NES Online on your Nintendo Switch? Yeah, there we go. Reppin' Nintendo. Oh, it was so intense. We played Balloon Fight, Ice Hockey, and then Dr. Mario. So it was pretty great. And I came out on top. Hey.
Awesome. So if you are not familiar with Abdallah, he streams and creates family-friendly content with live streams and walkthroughs for Nintendo, and you do Pokemon, you're doing the Yoshi game that's coming out.
Yeah. Nintendo fans, right? Yeah? Where you guys at? There we go. All right, so I'm totally on the panel representing all of Nintendo, so welcome to it. Thanks so much for coming out. Yeah, everything that I do is 100% family-friendly Nintendo gaming content. I'm one of the official Nintendo brand ambassadors, so whenever they have a brand new game coming out, like Yoshi's Crafted World, you guys saw that on the expo hall floor? Yeah? Some of you guys? All right, cool. It's a cool game, came out today, so go check that out. But other than that, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. So next to you is Mr. Ash, aka CWA Gaming, Mobile Gaming, and Ash, you create a lot of Clash Royale content, right?
Yeah, I started with mobile gaming about 5 or 6 years ago, just thinking it'd be a side little project and a hobby, and I had a career, and after 15 years, I ended up making this my full-time career about 2.5 years ago, and really love it, and I love, more so than just the games that I cover, I just love the community around my YouTube channel and just the games, the mobile gaming in general. So, our slides are up.
Look at that!
And I have...
All right, so we'll keep introducing, and then I'll probably bounce back to some slides so we have visuals of some of the products we're talking about. Hi, Jess.
Hi.
How do people also know you?
Huh?
How do people know you? What's your other name?
Athmo?
Yeah, we've got the fans, right, with the ears? So you create a lot of storytelling through gaming and gameplay, right?
Yeah.
And how often are you like uploading and whatnot?
So pretty much like 6 times a week with a live stream on the day that's not streaming or not having a video. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. And last but not least, is a little guy named Nick down there. Hey, Nick.
Hey, what's up, guys? So, yeah, no, I do Fortnite content, as you guys might know, and I stream twice a day, every single day, keeping it family-friendly. Please and thank you, and having a good time.
All right, so I'm going to bounce back a couple slides. So we're going to talk about Super Chat starting off. And if you're not familiar, as Jeffrey was explaining, Super Chat is a feature where you can like get a cool message to your creator and they can see it and call it out in chat. And so I want to talk to you guys, like, how has it felt like using Super Chat? Like, how have you been learning more about your community? And like, is it just like cool to like see crazy messages come through?
I think so, yeah. Oh, you go ahead.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah. That's you on the screen.
Yeah, no, I think honestly it's a huge motivation boost to see that your fans want to support you like that monetarily and just like give you that boost in momentum, that boost in confidence. And it just helps just obviously support you and your channel and allow you to keep on doing it, whether it's a full-time job, part-time job. But to see that people care about you that much, that they want to, you know, spend some of their money to show that kind of support is really, really motivating.
And I think that it's super easy too. All you have to do is take a look at where the chat is, and on the bottom you click on that money icon and boom, you got it right over there. And the higher up amounts last longer on stream, so if you wanted to make a little personalized message of thanks so much for streaming this is my favorite game, you can absolutely do that and reach out to the content creator that you're supporting. So I love seeing those messages come through. They're very awesome.
Yeah, what are like some of the messages you've gotten that have been like crazy or just like heartfelt? Like which ones have you not forgotten?
All of them.
All of them?
Yeah.
She has a notebook.
Yeah. Well, actually, I do. So if I can't see them, I feel bad. So I'm like, hey, can like someone on my team help me like take a picture of them and like put them somewhere so I see them all? So it's like you get like messages of people like super inspired by your work and want to do the same thing, or you like see people who want to just like, I don't know, like aspire to basically do YouTube, and then they have questions that are like super in depth about how you feel, and then you can kind of answer them and give them this like really in-depth answer where you can just ramble for a little bit like I normally do.
Super chats are a great way for somebody who maybe they want to send you a message, and sometimes it's hard to keep up with chat too.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to kind of, whether it be a message of support or whether it just be like an important question or anything that they're going through, it's a great way to just make yourself stand out. And obviously, shouldn't have to pay all the time to make that happen, but it's definitely a sure way of getting that done.
For sure.
And I think one of the craziest moments that I've had with Super Chat is when we were doing a charity stream last year for St. Jude. I was with my friend Sancho West, and we had this idea to, kind of make an impact in a small way, but in a big way. Because most people think, it's the large donations that make an impact, like the $100 donations for a charity stream. But what we said is, at the top of every hour, we're all going to come together, we're going to donate $1, and everyone's going to do it. And literally, the entire chat was filled with a bunch of blue $1, $1. Like, I kid you not, there was probably 1,000 Super Chat donations, just, helping a good cause for St. Jude. So that's
a
probably
cool
the
moment.
craziest.
That's awesome.
great.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Good idea.
Are there people out there who've done Super Chat before? Yeah, all right. Very cool. And so some of you also use Premieres, right? Who's used Premieres up here?
I use Premieres all the
Love
time.
Premieres.
That's like the best feature.
Let's look at Premieres a little bit. And so this is the what you see before your VOD premieres. And if you're not familiar, right, so here's a visual. You go to post your VOD, and then it allows, especially if you don't do live streaming, the ability to have a live chat next to your video. So you pick a date and time, it goes live, and then the creators can actually come in and see how you guys are reacting to their content. And you can also use Super Chat on it as well. Which is really cool. It gives you the opportunity that you don't, if you don't have it in you to be a live streamer, totally get it. But you can also still take advantage of that live chat functionality with Super Chat. So what has Premieres been like for you guys?
I'll start off.
Go for it,
Yeah. I do a lot of VOD content, video on demand, pre-recorded stuff. So whenever we have like a part 1 of a brand new game, I would love to, post up the premiere a couple, maybe 10, 15 minutes beforehand, and then tweet that out on social media and do all that to get everyone jazzed up for this brand new video that everyone's there for. So I like it because you don't necessarily have to be live for it. It's a great alternative to, let's say, for example, we're out traveling over here to see all of you guys in person. We can easily have something that can premiere on our channels and still kind of be like a live stream if we've already worked on creating that content for you guys. I love it. I use it all the time.
I love Premieres too, and the thing that I do, first off, your audience has to get used to it a little bit, because at first everybody's like, is this live or is this not live? But, as they see you chatting with them, it becomes pretty apparent. But I have some series where I have like 2 pro players in a game going head to head, and it's almost like a boxing match or something, so that you can kind of have that moment and have that energy, because you can't fast forward, So it's just, it's really exciting, and it adds that kind of tension sometimes for that type of genre of content. So I love Premieres for that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah.
For me, it's like I release story content like big, like that's what I do my premieres for. It's like you have these giant episodes that have like these grand story arcs. And it's like really awesome to see so many people in the community. Like we've had like over 45,000 people like just watch one premiere, which is just amazing. And you get to see everyone's reaction at the same time and also interact with them. And then you can kind of tell what's their favorite moments and kind of go base your content off of like what, well, not completely, but like get an idea of what people like. So it's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually on that note, that's a great use of premieres as well, is if you have like a really special piece of content that's like maybe not your run-of-the-mill, you've worked a little bit harder on it, set a premiere, make a big moment with you and your fans. And it's like Jess was saying, it's a great place where you can really see like what people are into of what you're making and get that real-time feedback. Okay, so actually I want to jump back to another cool feature that we're beta testing right now on Nick's channel. Hey. And it's a little thing called super stickers. And Nick, can you tell us more like what that is and what's been going on? We don't have a slide for this.
So super stickers is basically like an animated GIF. It's like another way to donate. So a lot of people on my channel will, donate and they want to show their support in some way. And they usually, some people don't really have messages to say, but they still want to, be part of the community. They still want to, help out with whatever they can. So super stickers is basically another way to show their support. And it basically adds a personalized message. It's an animated GIF that are pre-made. And the thing about them that I personally think is so cool is that they really add this message that you can connect to with the person who's donating rather than, like let's say someone donates $5 and there's no message. You say, thank you very much, Bob, for the $5 donation. But with super stickers, it's like, Bob, thank you for the $5 super sticker that says, that was amazing, good attempt. It's like, yeah, you know what? I think it was a really good job, but maybe next time we can do this. And it adds that extra level of personal, that personal connection. And it really is, I think, a really cool feature that YouTube is implementing into like all streams soon.
Cool. Yeah, so check it out on a stream while we continue to beta test it, and you can check it out. So kind of transitioning a little bit too, right? Like you guys, someone already said this up front. Like it can be like, feel awkward, like if you're trying to get off the ground and maybe you're not making quite enough ad revenue yet, but you want to start taking advantage of Super Chat or memberships, which we'll talk more about. It can feel really awkward to be like, hey, there's Super Chats, like you should click on it. So like, how did you get over that? Or like, how did your community even respond to kind of this new way of other ways that like, besides you just getting ad revenue money, of being able to like directly from a fan to you give money? What was that like, and how did you even emotionally process it?
I think one of the best things that you can do is, a lot of people when they start a channel, they focus on like just solely like money. But I think if you show that you care about people and you genuinely enjoy what you're doing, people can see that. People know like what you are and who you are online. It's very hard to like, if you're a live streamer, it's very hard to be someone else. So I think as long as you're there for your viewers, as long as you're consistent, you're showing that you can be here twice a day, whatever your schedule is, and you're showing that you're reading the chat. And maybe even reading super chat donations right away as they come in. I think people really appreciate that, and it's a whole nother level of connectivity that people enjoy. So I'd say a big factor is maybe even just responding as soon as like you see messages in the chat. People, they want to connect and they want to make friends, and I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I think getting excited about it, and which you genuinely are, when someone sends you a super chat, acknowledging them is also important, and also maybe setting a goal, like say that, hey, I want to get a new mic, I want to get, and they know what the money's kind of going for. And for me, I do like a lot of cash tournaments for my community, and I always say that, hey, remember your donations, every cent of it goes back into the channel for you guys, and you guys help pay for these, and that means a lot to them, So every channel is different, everybody's different, but I think that when they know what the money is going to, if you have a special project, it can mean a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually a really good best practice I've seen a couple channels do, where they'll be like, hey, like if I get a certain dollar amount, it's going straight back into just creating more content for you guys. So, this obviously requires some sort of relationship with your community. So let's talk about communities, right? Because everyone wants to grow a channel. I'm sure there's some aspiring creators out there in the audience. And it's like, what was it like when you first started out, right? Like, what was that moment you realized, wow, I have fans, I have a community?
I'll start off with that one, and then you guys can go. Yeah, communities on YouTube, it's just so amazing. Like, I started out playing Nintendo 3DS in the bathroom because there was no capture software for it, and there was like the perfect no lighting there. So like to see like how far you've come and what kind of community you've kind of cultivated over the years is absolutely stunning. Everyone that's a part of my community, I mean, it's very, you know, we're well respected. We greet each other. It's just such. It's amazing to see how far you've come from something like that, and I just love giving back as much as I can, whether it be through live streaming or VOD or even community posts on the main channel page. So it's good.
And I think the moment I realized like that we first had like a really, really tiny community is when I first started streaming, because like with videos, typically the comments are about the video itself, like great job on the video, Nick, or Nick, you did an amazing job with this, or that kind of thing. But with streaming, it's like if it becomes part of someone's routine and someone's daily life, people start to make friends with not just you, but the people in the chat. So as soon as I saw people like adding other people in the chat and tagging them and saying, hey, what's up, you know, John, how's it going, Billy? It kind of, you get that sense of community, that sense of like that's really, really tight knit. So I'd say live streaming is what really, on YouTube, really brought that like sense of community together.
Go ahead.
No,
please.
Well, for me, it was like really like when I first started noticing I had a community, it was like the weirdest feeling ever. It's like this great feeling, but at the same time, you're like, I don't know what to do with everything going on here. This is kind of interesting. So for me, it was basically like people talking about the content that I was making and stuff like that, and then me like being able to reply to them. And as time went on, more people came, and I was like, oh God, this is hard to reply every single time. But it's like basically trying to get an idea of what people like and then trying to like respond in certain ways, like maybe in your next video acknowledging, hey, like I really enjoy that you guys like collectively liked this thing, or like acknowledging like that they're here, that they're there supporting you. Like that's a big thing. And I guess it comes with a lot of anxiety too, because you don't want to disappoint anybody. But it's really like, I guess it's just really acknowledging that they're there to support you and you're there to basically entertain and have fun at the same time.
Yeah, I agree with all of that, and especially all the feelings that you guys mentioned about when you're first starting to grow and you're like, oh my God, people are watching me? Like, this is really weird. I'm not even that good at anything.
Like, I'm
I'm not even a good panelist. Why am I up here? But no, seriously, I feel like for me, I got to the point too that early on I was responding to every single comment because I was just so excited, and then it got to be that there were so many comments. And now what do I do, which I find really valuable, is I just, for the first hour after I upload, and I upload at the same time every day, I don't live stream unlike Nick, so I don't have that necessarily one-on-one, you know, talking to somebody. But I respond to all the comments for the first hour after my video. Like, I spend an hour, right? So that cultivates that community as well, where, you know, I know all my notification squad. I know them all, you know, and if someone's not there for a few videos, I can notice that, and I can weed out the bad apples, and, you know, anybody who's toxic, not to me, but especially to other members of my community, you can, like, weed them out, and I ban people like it's my job. I love banning people who are toxic because the internet is full of toxicity, and the great thing about being a YouTube creator is you can create a community rid of that if you want to, if you put in the effort for it, and it makes it a really special place, and that's kind of how I feel about me and my subscribers especially.
Yeah, on the bots too. There's like a ton of them.
Yeah.
It's so horrible.
Hide from channel.
So how, like, once you kind of realize, like, okay, like, this is a thing, I've got some fans, what did you do to grow your fan base?
I think one thing is consistency, and because the thing about, I can talk about this with regards to like live streaming. So the thing about live streaming is, I'd say that, you know, it requires a lot of consistency and being there for your viewers, because, you know, a lot of people go to school, a lot of people have jobs. So when you start up a stream, and let's say you only do it for like 30 minutes, it's really hard for them to kind of break their schedule and just come and watch your stream. But I would say what you want to do is you want to try to be there as much as you can for everyone, so that way when they're done their job, you know, you're streaming, otherwise they'll go to someone else. So if they like Fortnite, they're going to watch Fortnite one way or another. So I think consistency and having that concrete schedule that people know when you're streaming, and streaming for, you know, a good amount of hours. You don't always have to overwork or, you know, stream like 20 hours a day or anything like that. But having, you know, a good amount of hours and a consistent schedule is really important.
I would say as far as growing my community, I focus on a lot of variety content. I don't do just one game. As a Nintendo brand ambassador, they keep me busy with all of their new releases. So it's great to play the latest Pokemon game, Sword and Shield hype, right? Yeah, some of you guys? Okay, so the latest Pokemon game, or the latest Mario game, the latest Yoshi game, Yokai Watch. So I feel that by playing all of this, it definitely broadens the horizon of a variety YouTuber, variety streamer, and it helps grow the community even more because, hey, I may have come over to your channel because I like you playing Yokai Watch, and now you're playing this brand new game. Oh, that's interesting. I might pick that up, or I might watch it because it's you. It's you that I'm here for, which is one of the main goals that I feel that all of us really appreciate, that we have the consistent members and the consistent subscribers and viewers that will always be there for you.
Yeah, and I think a huge part of that community too is to kind of let them know more about you, because it kind of sucks to rely on one particular game all the time to really boost your channel forward. Like keeping them, like of course that's not a bad thing at all, but keeping them there for kind of like your personality, who you are and your entertainment, the entertainment value that you give to the game, and vice versa the same way. That's a really important thing. So like being able to like interact with them like on Twitter or like Instagram or like YouTube, like even especially the community tab on YouTube, you can put like a lot of updates there. And if you can't keep a consistent schedule, because like for me, I do a lot of like writing for my content. So there's times where it's like, oh man, I've been up since 5 a.m. working. I can't post this weekend, so I need to let my audience know what's going on. So as long as you keep them updated and let them know, hey, if I can't do it, know that it's gonna be I'm gonna aim for this other date. Like, don't be afraid to be like, okay, I have a schedule, but for my own mental health, in terms of YouTube, you should make sure that you know your limitations and try to work within them. Like, don't push yourself too hard.
Yeah, that's actually a great segue because I wanted to showcase the community tab too with the slide. And I think to your point, it's a lot about setting expectations with your fans, and being consistent is definitely a golden rule of YouTube, but you gotta also prioritize yourself and your health and sleep. And so if you can't stick to like what you've set out initially, we brought in the community tab, so it gives you another way that you can interact with your fans, hear from them, do polls. And if you haven't seen it yet, I have a couple different options that you can post. You can do like GIFs with your fans, polls, like I said, pictures. You can even ask people like, hey, like what content did you like, right? Like what should I post next? And so we've got some examples from Ash up here right now. But has it been how has it been for you guys to maybe take it to the next step with your fans, being able to use a tool like this?
I think it's a really, really good tool that I definitely want to start using more. With YouTube, with notifications, you have 3 notifications that go out every single day that can go out. And the thing about community tabs is when you post a community post, it doesn't waste one of those notifications. So I've had moments where like a community poll that I do does way better than comments in my videos do. Like there's a lot of interactivity in there because YouTube really pushes that kind of stuff on the homepage. Like on mobile, you'll see like a community post every couple of videos. You scroll down, you see a post, and it's just so easy to interact with. It's so easy to spot, and it's just way quicker than doing a video where you have to do tags, description, edit, upload. It's just a very hands-on, quick way to talk with people who care about your content.
I like the functionality that you can kind of filter what kind of messages you could send to your members, which is very awesome. Yeah, I love the whole membership. I don't know if we're going to segue into that soon, but you can actually, if you have members on your channel, you can make a community post that is specific to them. Like, let's say you have a perk that says, hey, I want to play some Mario Kart with you guys. Here's the room code, and I want to play with only members, so you can only do that. So other than that, I mean, just like Nick said, I mean, the whole community tab is just more communication about keeping everyone on the same page.
And tying into community tab, it is like a community tab. So another good thing that you can do with that is share other content creators in your own community, because you can share other videos. So it's a good way to do like shout outs to other content creators. Maybe they could return the favor. If you ever collaborate with somebody, it's really smart and best practice to have them post their collaboration on their community tab and vice versa, so you can kind of integrate your audiences together. And I use the community tab maybe every 3 days or every 4 days or so, because again, I think that especially the poll option is another one where you can poll your audience and just engagement, you know, and what do you think of this update or this patch or this whatever in the game that you cover, or, you know, we all cover a game here, but whatever you do, you know, so it really translates well, and it's cool. I like it.
Nice. It's always nice to reach your audience, like where your audience is. So you did bring up memberships. So let me get back to that. So this is an example on mobile, but we did, gaming used to have a smaller version a while ago, but we opened it up on YouTube, making the ability for you to subscribe to a channel or like pay a fee, right? So it's $4.99, and you can get a bunch of different perks, custom emojis and badges from your favorite creator, and it can be used in live chat, right? Whether it's a premiere stream or a live stream. And then there's other perks that these guys also offer, and a lot of it leverages, to go back, the community tab. So, and again, this is like yet another transition of building upon that community and the relationship of trust you have with your fans. So what was it like enacting memberships, and how did you decide what perks were really of value to your fans?
As far as myself, the best thing about Nintendo games nowadays is the ability to play online. How many of you guys fans of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? Yeah? Oh, that's like everyone here. There we go. That's a good game.
You found the one.
Yes, I found the one. That and Mario Kart and any other thing that's on Nintendo Online. So what I did with memberships was, I'm like, hey, I normally just play with random viewers, and we do random viewer battles and stuff like that, or viewer races. And I said, hey, you know what? Let's take care of the members and let's show some value. And at the top of the hour, we're going to do a sponsor-only race. Or if you become a sponsor, you can get a guaranteed 1v1 with me, rather than like keep on refreshing the room code and something like that. So that goes a long way, especially if people want the ability to, you know, become YouTube famous. Hey, I played with a YouTuber and I beat him. So yeah.
Did you get beaten?
Not that often,
Okay.
but no, I'm kidding. I get beaten all the time.
Look at this trophy.
Oh yeah, this trophy. There we go. Don't look at that. Anyway, no, the memberships is great. There we go.
There it
yeah,
is.
the trophy gets its own mic. Here we go. Perfect. No, that's what I love using memberships for, is it's viewer interactivity. It's not just sitting there and watching me play a game. It's, oh, hey, Abdallah's streaming and he's doing Smash Bros. Cool. I want to go in. I want to try my luck at it. And making that more accessible and adding more value to the memberships is really key to helping out with that.
So what about you guys? Like, how did you decide about membership perks?
I think one of the best perks like about just becoming a member is like the badge levels. So in the tiers and the different badges you get for how long you're a member, it's just a very cool way of seeing, you know, how long someone's been supporting. And I know a lot of people in my chat get excited when they've been a member for 5 months, they're going on 6 months, and they get like a new badge, and it just kind of makes a lot of people stand out and show that, you know, I've been a fan of this channel, I've been watching for this long. I think that's probably one of the coolest things in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's just important to make sure you keep in mind scalability, right? So if you have 200, if you get to the point where you have 200 or even more of 1,000 supporters, you just don't want to make sure you're promising a handwritten letter every day, you know, because you just can't do it. So as long as you keep that in the back of your mind, how can I scale this when my channel does grow? And I think that they can be a really, really beneficial tool. One thing that I do that you probably mentioned, Abdallah, earlier is you can make an unlisted video and put it in your community tab, and you can send that out just to your members, which is like a nice, like kind of a one-on-one almost conversation with them. And then you can see, you know, it will only get 100 views or something very, very low, but that creates kind of that intimacy with the creator that's really nice to have as well.
Yeah, and for me, like I named all my tiers after food. I think that's a great incentive.
They're all after food.
But also,
Give an
like,
example?
Huh? Oh, I just named like them potatoes and after French fries and stuff like that. So for me, I'm definitely a fan of like the emojis. Like if you're basic like me and you like emojis and like certain things like that, I put that in my chat. But also on top of that, like for me, I also offer like merchandise discounts and stuff like that with like every tier. So like there's different kinds of like, hey, like if you want to support, here's something back for you. So you have like this, you know, like you get something, you feel like you're getting something back, like a discount from like this crazy like price and stuff like that. So
Yeah, so real quick, we're going to start questions about 10 minutes, so go ahead and start lining up if you have any questions to ask. But on merch, So we actually have an example of your merch shelf at Mal. And so you actually also take advantage of the Teespring widget. And what's that been like for you, and how do you get feedback from your community, again, of like, should you do this design, and what should I price things, and that sort of stuff?
So the really cool thing with story content is that you can kind of incorporate that into stories. And when people say, oh my God, I really enjoy this character's outfit or this character's jacket and stuff, then you can be like, okay, we can make something around that because these are our own personally made characters and stuff. So it's really cool to be able to take things from that and try to see what people like, and if they like it, hey, we make it, and if they don't like it, well, then we don't make it again.
There you go. And yeah, if you guys are not familiar right now, if you have a Teespring account, you can go to our help center and find out more information of how you hook it onto your channel and the requirements. So because we didn't have the slides up earlier too, I'm just going to also quickly go back. So we talked about channel memberships. And actually, before I move off of this, how do you guys decide to do your emojis? How do you get help? Because I think that's definitely a starting, creator question of oh, I need to make emojis, and what do I do? Who do I go to? How did you guys kind of find your style and get help creating them?
With regards to my channel, I personally made a lot of the emojis myself, all the faces and all that stuff. So that's the thing. If you're really, really passionate about YouTube and you really, really enjoy it, you strive to want to learn how to do things yourself, and you strive to want to make your content even better. So if I'm, editing videos, I want to try to learn how to do, this cool edit or this cool edit. So if you really have that passion, I learned Photoshop myself. And you don't really need to know Photoshop. It goes back to, people are usually there for you. So whether it's something as simple as a red dot or, a face, people just want to be, associated with your channel. They just want to use exclusive emotes that are for them. So I don't even think you need to get really, really technical with it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that we all started out probably not knowing what we're doing at all. Not just Photoshop, but editing or anything. I didn't even know I would use my voice memo on my phone to record audio for the first 6 months that I did my channel. And I would just email myself the audio file and put it in Movie Maker. But I think that, like anything in life, if you just try to get better at one small thing, tackle one small thing every week or something, and then, before you know it, after a year, you have this big base of knowledge that you didn't have before. So it's easy to be overwhelmed when you think of, I need to know all of this to make a YouTube channel. But if you take it one small thing at a time, and maybe even, outsource to your community. Maybe your community has people who know, even if it's only 10 people who watch your videos, maybe one of them has a better idea of how to do things like make an emoji than you do. So just ask around.
And actually, I'm going to jump in real quick, because I totally forgot to give a shout out to everyone on the Creator Insider channel who's watching right now, live streaming. So the VOD of this, if you are watching the live stream, there will be a VOD, hopefully, that will keep up. And that channel, Creator Insider, actually does a really, takes a lot of, the first early steps and getting, deeper into information from product managers and engineers at YouTube. And so if you are aspiring out there, definitely check out that channel. And it'll help guide you through even some of these, early steps. But, of course, we know you want to hear from your creators, so. And I'm sorry, I totally.
Oh, no, I was going to touch base on Ash. I mean, you don't necessarily have to learn how to do Photoshop yourself. There's tons of digital artists out there who want to make that commission. So I would say do a couple searches and definitely support the community that pride themselves on the little digital artistries for emojis if you're looking at that.
Awesome. So I'm going to run through these real quick, and then we've got a lot of people in line. So, okay, so this was Super Chat, just making sure you guys saw all of these. Merchandise, which you can check out with Teespring. And then real quick, FameBit. It's a place you can go and sign up if you're a creator and start getting a chance to work with brands, especially if you're kind of on your own and just starting out, give you some guidance. And then we already spoke a lot about the community tab, premieres, definitely check it out too. And then stories, do any of you guys use stories yet?
Occasionally.
Try it out.
Yeah, so stories is the ability to just, right from YouTube, film little snippets of what your day is like. And it's yet another great way to connect with your audience in between your regular upload schedule, or especially like if you have to miss, you can still connect and be like, hey guys, can't do it today, or like, I'm at PAX, look how awesome it is. All right, so actually we've got this, and then we'll do questions. So we want to do a group selfie, although unsure about the lighting in here. But we can we'll still try and make it happen between us. So if you guys want to get up.
Okay.
Sure.
It's fine.
Are we going down?
Yeah, we'll go, you guys want to
Okay.
do this?
Yes.
Yeah.
With all of you guys in the picture too, yeah? You guys gonna be hype? All right, let's see those hands, let's see those capes. Let's do all that.
All right, who's got the longest arm?
Tall guy.
All right,
That just works the best.
here we go. Okay. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Hey.
All right.
Good job. You guys did great. I didn't hear you though.
All right, so we'll post that to our YouTube Gaming Twitter. All right, so let's start with some questions.
This question's for CWA Mobile Gaming. Any advice on starting a new mobile game channel?
Yeah, I mean, it's a question that I'm sure we all get about our specific genres, but starting a new mobile gaming channel, I mean, it depends on what game you're covering, but one thing that I would advise is the biggest thing no matter what you're going to make is make content that you would really enjoy to watch yourself. And it's a very simple piece of advice, but for me, I love podcasts. And I listened to podcasts for a decade, all the time. I used to work outside, so when I started YouTube, I loved interview format. So I took interviews into mobile gaming, and I just had pro players on every single day. And that's what I would enjoy consuming, so I think that's what I'm passionate about making. Other than that, do some market research. Look at other content creators out there who play the type of game that you want to cover, and see what works for them and maybe how you can make it your own and kind of repurpose it. Or of course, be yourself. If you have an idea that someone else doesn't do, don't be afraid you have to conform to fit inside this cookie cutter, what everybody else is doing. And be yourself personality-wise too. Like, just don't try to be anybody. I mean, it's a cliche, but don't try to be anybody who you're not. If you're goofy, if you're whatever, just be that, and people will appreciate the authenticity about it, And then lastly, we mentioned it a lot, but it's really, really important to be consistent. And that's the biggest thing that I see from newer YouTubers in terms of failure, is that they expect immediate results. If you're in it for the money, this panel is about making money. But if you're in it for the money in the very beginning and not passionate about what you're covering, it's probably not going to end well for you. So just, set little tiny goals and try to be consistent, even if it's within your schedule. So if you can upload 2 times a week or 3 times a week, then try to stay consistent for that for 6 months. I'm talking like long time periods, because from the creators that I've worked with in the past, it's been people, when they go in the beginning, they go hard and they burn out really quickly, and they can't keep to that commitment. And that's what happens after a few months or 6 months or a year. But, that's basically my best tips, I guess. As far as like mobile specifically, I think that, all of those pretty much apply to everything, but yeah.
This question's for Nick 830. If you had to pick one duo partner and stay with that duo partner, who would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. How are you going to make me pick sides, though? Then someone's going to be angry. Someone watching this is going to be angry. But I would say Sancho West, because I've been playing with him for a very, very long time. I've known him for over 4 years. He's the nicest guy. If I reach out to him tomorrow and say, hey, Sancho, I'm doing a charity stream. Can you help me out with regards to, like, getting caught up on donations or doing this? He helped me actually last year for the St. Jude one. He'll be there. He's a good friend. He cares about his community. He cares about my community. He cares about everyone. So he's a good guy. He'd be the guy. Great question.
Hey, so this is a question about, I guess, YouTube gaming and streaming. There are a lot of features on other streaming services that are pretty cool, like clips, for example. So are there any maybe like third-party tools that you could use on YouTube gaming that you guys like that help you get features that you like or run a more professional stream? Also, do you have any tips on running a more professional stream?
What was that last question?
Do you have any tips on running a more professional stream in general as well? Like things not to do, for example?
Yeah. Oh, no, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this isn't like a third-party tool or anything, but one of the things that I love about YouTube live streaming is that, everyone's go-to video platform is YouTube. Everyone knows it globally. Like, you can ask your grandmother, she'll probably know about YouTube. So the fact that, I can stream on it, have my videos on it, have everything all in one place so people don't have to go out and go download this app or this app to watch me stream or this one is really, really big, I think. But yeah, if you wanted to touch on...
No, in terms of being more professional in your streams, one thing that is really an acquired skill is reacting to negativity or ignoring negativity. It's tough. Like, I'm sure all of us, maybe it's different for you guys, but if people leave, whether it's a toxic comment or just a negative comment, even if we don't show it, it still kind of hurts. Like, you never get over that, because we're all human beings, So, but the trick is to never feed into it with negativity because, and I'm not trying to be all preachy and positive about it, but it always backfires. Like, reacting that's what they want. So, like, being,
Yeah, and I think for you're gonna get so many positive comments. Everyone's really, really like positive on YouTube. Like, I have probably 100 comments or 1,000 comments, and I'll get one negative or something. And I think the main focus that you should do is prioritize on the good ones. Don't draw attention to the negative. If you're responding to it, even though it's so easy to, because you take it to heart, right? If you do that, you tend to grow a community that tends to be more negative because they see you responding. They want you to respond to their comment. Oh, Nick A30 is only responding to negative comments. I'm going to make a negative comment. Mm-hmm. But if you're only responding to positive comments, then that's good. Then that fosters an even more positive community. Then everyone's positive. If I'm reading like, Nick, great job today, and I read that out loud and I give a shout out to that person, then everyone wants to. So.
I would also add having good moderators helps.
Yeah.
With that. They'll deal with that for you.
And one third-party program that I do use is called TubeBuddy, T-U-B-E Buddy, and it's not necessarily for streams, but it's really good for analytics and best practices and stuff like that. Want to check it out?
TubeBuddy?
Yeah. That's not a paid plug.
This
How to make money. TubeBuddy, TubeBuddy.
This question is for Afmao.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you actually start doing YouTube?
What's up?
Why did you start doing YouTube?
It's because me and my husband were really, really into like watching other YouTubers at the time, like people like the Yogscast, Jesse Cox, and like a bunch of other people. And so we were like, hey, you know what? This seems like a fun hobby. So we decided to just jump into it and try to like play and see how things went. And then things just were like doing really good. And we were like, oh, hey, this is pretty cool. And then things started to do really good. And I was like, oh God, this is a little too much. And then I was like, oh no, but we kept going with it. And then it was just really fun at first, like to do. So, and hey, just being able to do stuff on it, right?
So I have a question for like whatever can answer. So I only do streaming and for about 2.5 years, and my channel has a tiny community, but basically I feel like it's not growing at all. And I think you guys suggested doing varieties and consistency. And I think I have like consistency at least for 2.5 years, and the varieties I switch between different games because I mostly do single player games. So do you have any suggestions for like what I can do so that will make it grow better? Thank you.
I think there's a lot of guides, like the creative channel that we plugged earlier. There's a lot of guides that you can find online, and just like there's a lot of stuff that you can realize. Like if you're trying to work on your tags, you can go to the YouTube search bar, type in Fortnite, and then there's a bunch of suggestions that pop up. Fortnite, Season 8, Fortnite, new map, Fortnite, all that stuff. Those are tags that you can put in your tags if it's relevant, of course, to your video. And, that helps promote your video. Or, even something as simple as making it easier for people to want to watch your content. So in my descriptions of my videos, if I'm doing a random duo video in Fortnite, I'll make sure, like a few bars down, like a few lines down, I'll have all Fortnite random duo matches, and then a link to the playlist. I make it easy for people to want to watch content. There's little tips like that you can find just by even searching on YouTube, like how to grow a channel or, going to the professional channels.
Yeah, and I can add on to that. We do have a bunch of examples on, like you said, Creator Insider channel, the YouTube Creator channel, the Help Center, but I think for gaming, there's also some other tips in there as well, right? So first, you always want to consider your packaging, like who on the channel, like who on the platform do you feel you're most similar to, who kind of else is making content like you, like do you present a compelling reason for people to click on your thumbnail versus someone else's? And also, it can very much depend on what type of games you're playing. Again, consistency. If you're trying to get newer, if like you have very small, maybe like you're into retro gaming, which is great, and there's like a whole community for that. But it may not be something that people are actively searching for as much. So you may have initially tapped out your initial community and want to just expand a little bit and look for newer, more modern games that are tangential. I mean, there's examples. And so it's thinking about some of the stuff like that of like, am I playing something that people might search for? And if not, like, is what I have on like your description being accurate, your thumbnail being accurate, your title being accurate? Because people will click on stuff and then bounce if they don't feel like it's what they feel they're going to get when they click. And so kind of looking at the full picture.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, I've got 2 questions, one for the panel and one more for YouTube.
Let's do one if it's okay, just because we have a ton of people.
Okay. When you're in that 18 to 2,000 sub range, what were you guys doing that was most effective to grow your community?
What was the number again?
When you're in that, like you've gotten the ball rolling, you're in like the 1,800 to 2,000 sub range.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a small community basically, but it's sort of stalled out on growth. Growing it past that.
Are you live streaming or doing videos?
A little bit of both, primarily VR content, a little bit of streaming, but mostly just review videos.
I would say it doesn't really matter the number of subscribers. It's kind of a generic tip, but just like making content that people really, really want to see. I'll use Fortnite as an example. I know it might not be relevant to your channel, but like, if there's a new season out for Fortnite, people want to see what the battle pass is. People want to see, tips and tricks maybe on this new map. What's the best spot to land? So I think just always staying on top of current trends. So if you're doing VR, maybe there's a new VR game out, and obviously, it might not always work, but I think that's one tip, just staying on top of trends and just doing your research with regards to that.
And I think another thing that I think more so like when I was newer, I would kind of like be very anxious to look at someone who's really successful and be like, oh man, like how are they doing things and stuff like that. I was really nervous about that because it was a big like, then people are just gonna think I'm copying them. Like was a big fear that I had when I was a smaller YouTuber. But there's a really good lesson to learn from that, because if someone is successful in their YouTube career, they're doing something that people enjoy. A good thing that you should probably try to do is look at other people and how they are successful. Even if you don't like their content, you still have to acknowledge that they have some kind of success and they're good at what they do and they're good at entertaining people. So seeing how they do it, seeing what makes them so eye-catching and so eye-popping, go take a look at what they're doing and then try to incorporate yourself into it. Don't like copy them verbatim, but like get an idea and try to feel comfortable with that kind of aspect, because the more that you see success and you understand success and you get what it is and you see what someone's doing, then you can kind of imitate that in your own way. And people will always call that out. They'll always be like, oh, you're copying so-and-so, you're doing this just like this person. And honestly, like, people have different personalities, and that's why it's like the game may be the same, because it's always gonna be the same no matter who's playing it, but they really are coming for you, and that's what you gotta figure out how to really embellish in your content.
Yeah, to piggyback on that too, it's just, you don't even have to look inside your own genre.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was telling these guys last night at dinner that, or I was telling YouTube that we're all gaming channels, and I look at I learn lessons from like Phil DeFranco and like MatPat and stuff like that, and I'm just like, wow, that's really cool. Maybe I can take that little element and bring it into my channel. And lastly too, look at your own content that does really well and try to figure out, okay, can I capitalize on that? Can I make another version of that that's a little bit new, or new series off of that, and try to capitalize on content that really works for you. Look at your highest viewed videos. Try to keep doing more of that stuff if you can. Don't be afraid of doing the same thing or so if it's really working, because at the end of the day, the number of people who view your videos usually is a good barometer on how many people like it.
Yeah.
All right, let's try and do rapid fire, because we gotta wrap it up. One of you guys gets to answer. First one to Mike gets to answer.
All right, good. All right. One piece of advice I've heard a lot is that when you're trying to grow a YouTube channel, you need to use other social media platforms to bolster your channel. But I can make tweets that that's a link to my YouTube video, right? People don't interact with that. So how do I make social media content that makes people want to come back to my channel? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say You're exactly right. People don't really interact with links on Twitter. So it's more along the lines of putting yourself out there and be a lot more personable, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Have every single one of the social medias out there and make sure that you put yourself on it. And you're talking to people and replying to people and engaging with people and not just another avenue to spread your YouTube links out.
Yeah.
There we
All
go.
right.
Cool,
Thank you.
man. Thanks for coming.
Hi, yeah, I was going to say, with the recent announcement of Google Stadia from the GDC that had happened, how would that, and as well as the different integration it has with YouTube, how would that change you guys' approach to content creation? Are there features with that I know it's early, there's still not much that's, there's some things that there isn't concrete yet, but is that going to change what you guys would do?
I'm not sure yet. I guess to be honest with you, I haven't been invited to the beta for it, so I can't speak. Do you guys have any plans on it?
No.
Just wait until more details get pretty much.
It looks really cool. It's a lame answer, but I just want to find out more, just like I'm sure a lot of you guys do.
My question is for Nick. Why did you choose to start your streaming career on YouTube instead of Twitch?
Yeah, so back when I was doing YouTube, I was actually starting with videos. So it made a lot of sense because I built up a community with videos, and I didn't really want to start over. And then it goes back to, having everything all in one place. So a lot of people, they'll say like, oh, I didn't know you were streaming over on this platform. I didn't know you were over there. And I just like the fact that you can have everything just all there. You have your videos, you have your streams, and yeah, you don't got to worry about anything else. Thank you.
My question's also for Nick.
Okay.
Speaking of the World Cup for Fortnite, have you found a duo yet?
Oh, for competitive Fortnite? I have not. I had a few people in mind, but they've all had partners, so I'm solo. I'm more of a solo guy anyway, but I'll try to find someone.
Yeah.
I don't know. Thank you. Great question.
I'm going to sound like a broken record, but this question is also for Nick.
Okay.
When did you really start to realize that YouTube was going to become your life and this is what you were going to do to be your main source of income?
Yeah, so I don't want to take up too much time. Just I don't know. It was one of those things that I was in university. I wasn't really happy because the thing about me is I tend to focus on one thing and one thing only because I want to do it the best that I can. So that was school for me, and I wasn't really going out or anything. So I feel like YouTube was kind of my outlet, to kind of game and just kind of post videos that are fun. Because with regards to socializing, I guess, and partying and all that stuff, it's always set times. But with gaming, it's I could take a break from studying at any time, play for an hour, and then hop right back on studying because studying was my priority. So gaming was just always my outlet. YouTube, worked because it really, I saw comments of people me boosting their mood, and it just made me happy, and I just wanted to keep on doing that.
Thank you.
All right, let's get one more in there, and then maybe, I don't know if you guys are open to staying and maybe answering a few more to the side.
Yep.
All right.
So my question is for AFMAO. What inspired you to start writing these stories and sharing them with everyone on YouTube?
I was a huge fan of the game Final Fantasy. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know it. But basically, I wanted to tell stories similar to that, but I don't know. I wanted to do more fantasy stuff than anything. And eventually, it just got more modern and it changed. It was this weird. Basically, I was writing for a long time, and I was like, hey, I want to tell stories like this game that I like. And then eventually, it was just oh, well, you can do it this way. And it's oh, telling modern stories is pretty awesome.
Thank you.
No problem.
So thanks, guys. I hope that you guys have a couple more ideas of how you can use new tools on YouTube, gaming, to grow your community, and also bring in some more money to make it a sustainable career. But let's give a round of applause for our panelists. And I'd like to thank the Creator Insider channel, and just know we're out there trying to make a lot of good products for you guys. Thank you.
Cool. Have a great rest of PAX.
Anything.
It's probably going to be dinner and drinks.
Discover.
Hi, what's this Social Security alert?
It's a free alert if we find your Social Security number on the dark web.
Good, because I'm a little worried about my information getting out.
Oh, why's that?
My Social Security number is 875-6.
Okay, I see.
Is that your daughter? No, it's a macaw, and his name is Timothy.
Timmy, want a cracker?
Timmy, do you want a cracker?
What do you think, Kevin?
Sign up online for free. Discover Social Security alerts.